What's up, internet people? My name is Patrick, and I'm a 33-year-old man recording a vlog in his basement. I live in Cleveland, Ohio with my amazing, wonderful wife, Taylor, and our two silly cats, Louie and Buggy. I stream video games on Twitch. I also told myself I was going to use this YouTube channel to make highlight videos of my Twitch streams, and I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Oops. But I also want to make other types of videos on this channel besides gaming clips, and I guess I'm using 2026 as my excuse to do more of that, in addition to streaming more often. I've had tons of ideas for videos over the last few years, actually, and I've just never gotten around to making them, so I kind of want to just use this as an excuse to whip my ass into gear and actually make the videos I want to make. So what kind of videos can you expect to see on this channel? Well, I do still want to make highlight videos of the games I play on Twitch. I'm not really a PlayStation or Xbox guy. The only modern consoles I have are a Switch and a Switch 2. I mostly stick to retro video games. That's just what I'm more interested in. I like the simpler pick up and play kind of style, and the stuff that I don't have to sink hours and hours and hours into. I just don't got time or energy for that. But I love just playing as a little guy who runs and jumps. I'll also probably make videos about art. I used to make tons of art back in the day, and then I just kind of fell off of it, and over the years I've been trying to kind of get myself back into drawing more often. I've done a lot of digital work in the past, but lately I've been drawing a lot more with pen and paper in a sketchbook. Speaking of art, I'm also a big fan of animation. I grew up loving cartoons, especially the ones on Nickelodeon, grew up watching Disney movies like any 90s kid did. I eventually started to really get into anime. If that wasn't obvious by me and my wife's manga collection, I actually thought I would pursue animation when I was younger, and then I found out I just absolutely do not have the patience to animate. When I gave up on animation, I actually kind of fell into making comics. They were a much faster way to get ideas out on a page for me, and I grew up reading tons of webcomics from like the early 2000s to 2010s, so I like comics as well. I appreciate the art form of animation and comics. I just like cartoons. So I make art, and I'm also just an enjoyer of art. I also really enjoy cooking, but I'll be honest, I don't see myself making a lot of cooking videos. Kitchens are not generally photogenic, they require a lot of lights and setup, and then there's just so much stuff in your way while you're trying to make a meal come together, and it's just not worth it. I'm also a big coffee guy, so I can see myself making videos about coffee. During the pandemic, cold brew became my lockdown obsession of choice. And then it just escalated from there, and next thing you know, I own like 1,000 different coffee brewers. Your boy likes his caffeine. Another topic I've really gotten into over the last few years is digital minimalism. I think everybody knows at this point that social media and algorithms, and now with the influx of AI, the internet is kind of really bad for our brains. And I'm personally doing my best to limit my phone usage and stuff like that. I know it's a little counterintuitive saying I'm trying to use the internet less while making a vlog for YouTube, but they're still good to be found on the internet. Going along with the digital minimalism thing, I've actually found myself using pocket notebooks a lot more recently, and I've gotten big into journaling. And that's something I would recommend a lot of people get into just for mental clarity. And going hand in hand with journaling, I really like stationery. I like getting my hand on new pens and different paper and notebooks and stuff like that. I mentioned earlier that my wife and I currently live in Cleveland, Ohio, but we're relatively recent transplants to the city. We actually came here from the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, and we're really enjoying just exploring the city and seeing what it has to offer. So I might make videos just about this amazing city we live in. Before we moved here, I also used to work at Goodwill, so I feel like I might have a lot of stories to tell about that. A lot of people really hate Goodwill as a company, and I feel like I could offer an interesting perspective from someone who actually worked for the company. But also I can just show you all the pictures I took of the weird shit we got donated all the time. I'm also a first-time homeowner, and in the past few months that we've lived here, I've had to get used to becoming a bit of a handyman around the house, fixing stuff I never knew how to do, but I'm figuring it out. I'm also a big fan of physical media. I dream of the day that we can just cancel all of our streaming services because I'll have like a home server with like every movie I could ever want to watch, every TV show, all the music I want, just to not be giving money constantly to these corporations who keep jacking their prices up. And that's just scratching the surface of all of my varied interests. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to make videos about these topics specifically, but they're all things that are in my life that might make their way into videos. So I hope something in there sounds interesting to you. I'm not a fan of the influencer culture that is taken over the internet right now. And a lot of my favorite YouTubers are just people talking to the camera about things that they find fascinating. I feel like these types of YouTubers are a lot more authentic, and they make the internet still enjoyable to me despite the hellscape it's become. So I guess what I'm trying to do is just be the change I want to see in the world as far as the internet goes. I want to make the type of videos that I want to see. I don't want to be that channel that just makes videos about one specific topic. I wouldn't want to be just a cooking channel, just a coffee channel, just an art channel. I just think YouTube should be kind of how it was meant to be when it was new, which is just broadcasting yourself. My cats came down to the basement right as I'm ending the video. This is Louie.
And this is Buggy.
So I hope some of the topics I mentioned interest you, and maybe you just want to stick around and follow my journey. I'm just figuring shit out. Come along for the ride, if you want. Anyway, that's the video. I should come up with a good sign-off.